Okay. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. All right. Let me just turn off this useless stuff which is not bringing us any real value. Inshallah. All right. शुरू करें बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम नहमदुहु व नसल्ली अला रसूलिल करीम अम्मा बाद عن أبي موسى رضي الله عنه قال قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أبشروا وبشروا من وراءكم أنه من شهد أن لا إله إلا الله صادقا بها دخل الجنة رواه أحمد والطبراني في الكبير. Abu Musa radiallahu anhu narrates that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, take good news and give good news to others that he who bears witness to La ilaha illallah, meaning there is none worthy of worship except Allah, and is truthful in his testimony thereof, will enter paradise. I am doubting that I am connected. You guys hearing me still? Am I just talking to myself? Well, myself and my kids. Alright, okay. So Abu Musa radiallahu anhu narrates that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, take good news. Abshiru. So give good news. Wa bashiru. Abshiru wa bashiru. Take good news and give good news to others that he who bears witness to La ilaha illallah, there is none worthy of worship except Allah, and is truthful in his testimony thereof, will enter paradise. عن أبي الدرداء رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من شهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله مخلصا دخل الجنة. عن أبي الدرداء رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من شهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله مخلصا دخل الجنة. Abu Darda radiallahu anhu narrates that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, he will enter paradise who sincerely bears witness that there is none worthy of worship except Allah, and that Muhammad is his slave and messenger. So, when we read these types of ahadith, then we should always keep in mind that a person, inshallah, he will get entry into Jannah. Inshallah, if he dies in this state, one thing is living in this state, one thing is dying in this state. Only. So a person, he has to leave the world in this condition. And just that he will enter into Jannah, this is one thing. But when we make dua that Allah protect us from the fire also. He protect us from the fire of Jahannam. Because even a short time spent in the fire of Jahannam is not going to be enjoyable. No one calculates how many hours or how many years he burnt his finger on an iron, or how many hours he touched his finger to the stove or to the oven and then burnt his hand. No one calculates it like that. People say, I touched my hand to the stove for a split second and I took it away, and then still they get a second, third degree burn. They get a severe burn, even though it was for a very limited amount of time. So when the fire of Jahannam is mentioned, it's mentioned in it or about it that it was 70 times hotter than the fire of this world, then we have to imagine, and we have to make every effort to save ourselves from it. Not just get entry into Jannah, and inshallah, even that is a big thing, but we want to avoid any amount of time in the fire of Jahannam. Allah give us the ability to do that. And this is why we have to be particularly mindful of all of our obligations. Some people, they say that, oh, Allah can forgive. Yeah, Allah can forgive. But Allah has laid down a law. He has laid down a law. And according to that law, someone who does not abide by it, he will be punished. Abdullah ibn Amr radiallahu anhuma narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, two qualities are such that if a Muslim adopts them, he will certainly enter paradise. Both of them are easy, but those who practice them are very few. One is that after every salat, say Subhanallah 10 times, Alhamdulillah 10 times, and Allahu Akbar 10 times. Abdullah ibn Amr radiallahu anhu says, I saw Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam counting them on his fingers. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, this means 150 on the tongue and 1500 on the scale of deeds. The second quality is that when one goes to bed, he says, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, and Allahu Akbar for a total of 100 times. These are 100 on the tongue and 1000 on the scale. So who would be committing 2500 sins in a day? Abdullah radiallahu anhu asked, O Rasulullah, why is it that these two qualities are not adopted? He replied, the shaitan comes to one while he is in salat and says, remember so and so, until he becomes preoccupied and thus becomes unmindful of saying these words. And shaitan comes to him on his bed and continuously lulls him to sleep. So again, easy good deeds, simple good deeds. There are other ahadith which mention reading these 33, 33, 34, or all of them 33 and the fourth kalima at one time, making it 100. But this is such that a person does not even have to make much effort. He just does, he says it 10 times. 10 times Subhanallah, 10 times Alhamdulillah, 10 times Allahu Akbar. So there is no, Allah says, Udhkurullaha dhikran kathira. Do dhikr of Allah abundantly. Abundance. So there is no limit. These are a couple of things which have been described in a hadith. So a person, he does zikr a couple of times, 10 times, 10 times, 10 times. This is a good start. Look, the objective is to bring dhikr into our lives 24 hours a day. So in whatever condition it must be, that's the dhikr of Allah that we need to achieve. But we start somewhere. The thing is starting somewhere. So this is one prescription that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given, that we can start. And then after that, if a person, he has some istiqamat, he has steadfastness on this, then he can move up. No harm in doing that. If a person wants to start right away, he's sitting on the, on his musalla, on his janamaz, and doing some zikr, and then he says, what, I'm going to do 33, 33, 34. That's great. Why not? Whatever it is, do something. Let's get in the habit of it. عن عمار بن ياسر رضي الله عنهما قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إن الرجل لينصرف وما كتب له إلا عشر صلاته تسعها ثمنها سبعها سدسها خمسها ربعها ثلثها نصفها رواه Abu Dawud. Ammar ibn Yasir radiallahu anhuma narrates, I heard Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying, indeed a person completes his salat and only 1/10 of the maximum reward is written for him. Likewise for some 1/9, 1/8, 1/7, 1/6, 1/5, 1/4, 1/3, or 1/2 of it is written. Ammar ibn Yasir radiallahu anhu narrates, I heard Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying, indeed a person completes his salat and only 1/10 of the maximum reward is written for him. Likewise for some 1/9, 1/8, 1/7, 1/6, 1/5, 1/4, 1/3, or half of it is written. Note, the hadith explains that the more the outward appearance and the inner devotion in salat corresponds to sunnah, the greater is their reward. जी समझ गए.
Yes.
So if sometimes we get content doing just the minimum. But I only have to do this much. Only that much is fard. Anything less than that, but it's not necessary. It's just sunnah. It's just sunnah. Then we do it quickly, and our namaz becomes far from the appearance and far from the reality which is there in the sunnah. A person is just going to be getting a fraction of the reward. So we should be mindful. And of course, even then, a person, he doesn't know how many mistakes he makes in his salat, how many unknown mistakes there are. There will be known lapses that person trying to take shortcuts in his salat takes, so he loses out. He himself knowingly is cutting short his salat, taking shortcuts, so he's knowingly losing out. And then some what the unknown mistakes are, what we don't know already, or what is not immediately you know, apparent to us. This causes a further loss. So we should be mindful, and one thing is taking care of the sunnahs in salat, and then one thing is to back it up with some nawafil, to that on the day of judgment when we'll be asked, then we can those will be used to make up any deficiencies that were already present within the salat. Inshallah, one more hadith for today. عثمان يعني ابن عفان رضي الله عنه يقول سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول من قال بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم 3 مرات لم تصبه فجعة بلاء حتى يصبح من قالها حين يصبح 3 مرات لم تصبه فجعة بلاء حتى يمسي. رواه أبو داود. जी खदीजा, ये कौन सी दुआ है? عليم, سميع العليم. Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu narrates, I heard Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying, he who says the following words 3 times in the evening, then no sudden calamity will befall him till the morning. And he who says these words in the morning 3 times, no sudden calamity will befall him till the evening. These words are as follows: Bismillahilladhi la yadurru ma'a ismihi shay'un fil ardi wa la fis samai wa huwa as-sami'ul alim. Meaning, in the name of Allah, with whose name nothing can harm in the earth or in the heavens, and He is the hearer and knower of all things.
Mention no sudden calamity or no sudden calamity?
No sudden calamity.
Wait, what does that mean?
Something which comes out of nowhere. A surprise.
Like an accident or something, like a car accident.
Ji.
First time I heard and the owner has quick sense.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Yes, Abu. I am here. I am muted. Oh, Abu just left. Sorry about that. I don't know what's up with my connection. I have no clue what's up. Osman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu narrates, heard Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying, he who says the following words 3 times in the evening, then no sudden calamity will befall him till the morning. And he who says these words in the morning 3 times, no sudden calamity will befall him till the evening. These words are as follows. Bismillah alladhi la yadurru ma'a ismihi shay'un fil ardi wa la fis sama'i wa huwa as-sami'ul 'alim. The name of Allah with whose name nothing can harm in the earth or in the heavens, and He is the hearer and knower of all things. So these are part of the du'as which we should be reading morning and evening. We can attach them to the salawat, so read them right after the salat so that we do not forget them. Try to make it a habit. These things come into our life. These are the asbab we can take for our protection. And this is part of the dhikr that we should be bringing into our lives. So Allah give us all the tawfiq to bring it practically into our lives. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika